Well, y'all, we had a big ice storm come through in the deep, deep south down here. And what happens is when you have an ice storm and you get hit with some snow on top of that and another ice storm on top of that, you have all these branches all across the south that cannot sustain the weight anymore, and they eventually just snap. The boys and I are going to spend a whole chainsaw day out here throwing them in the trailer and gathering them up and just doing man stuff. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. But the limbs, I just feel bad for them. They were healthy limbs, they just snapped. Kind of reminds me of masculinity in America today. So I was thinking, y'all, can you imagine if a news anchor, a male news anchor, had a female on and he was interviewing her, right? And at some point in the interview, it just kind of went south for the man. He didn't like what he was hearing anymore. He finally just cuts her off, gets out of the interview, looks at his audience and says, y'all, I just want to apologize for that display of toxic femininity. She won't be on anymore. This is exactly what's wrong with women today. I tell you what, heads would explode, right? So I would ask today that those of y'all who are bashing men, do y'all really know what you're doing? Because I'm raising two young men right now. They're 10 and 11. They're my world. They're my absolute world. The two traits and the two qualities that I'm trying to instill in them as a father every single day is to be strong and kind. And yeah, you can be both. But we've got a culture of men today that is apologizing for being men. We had privilege. We had mansplaining, okay? And now we've got toxic masculinity. You're toxic just because you're a man. No, you're just toxic because you're a toxic person. If you choose to be a toxic person, that's just being toxic. What it is passing the buck. I don't want to take responsibility for my actions, so I'm just going to blame it on being a big bad man. They're like, sorry, it's in a man's nature. No. It's in your sin nature. That's what it is. Masculinity is not toxic. It was created by God, and everything that God made is good. The bad things that you're seeing in mankind is what mankind has twisted to fit mankind's own agenda, own selfish agenda. But for those Americans that still want to go around bashing men and bashing manhood, I just want to tell you, in 5 years when my boys start driving on the road and you're stuck on the side of the ditch rolling down a 20-foot embankment, you better hope that a young man like one of my boys comes around with a tow rope and gets you out. When your daughter is 17 years old and she's in a parking lot and there's a shady character walking straight towards her, you better hope that a young man like one of my boys is nearby to stop it. Masculinity was designed to come through, y'all. Oh yeah, it's got limitations. I don't know of anybody alive that would leave a group of 6 men alone with a room full of toddlers for 2 weeks and say, yeah, y'all ought to have it covered. This should come natural. It don't come natural. And if me and my buddy are lost in the North Woods in Manitoba in the summertime and there's a 200,000 acre wildfire coming straight toward us, I promise you, I'm looking for a search and rescue group of men to come pull me out. But, a woman can do everything a man, maybe a woman could be part of that. But why are some folks so all consumed and all focused with trying to prove that a woman can do everything a man can do? You can. And a man can't do everything a woman can do. A woman can do the most beautiful thing that ever existed. A woman can give life. A man can give strength. A woman can give life. Both are needed to coexist in this world. Now you might say, I had a dad. He was mean as a rattlesnake, yelling at me all the time, beating on me all the time. I've seen masculinity. It's a bad deal. No. Your dad was a bad deal. But you don't have to be like him. There's millions of men every single day that are waking up and they're handling their business. And they're treating people fair. They're treating people kind. They're getting zero credit. The only toxic masculinity that exists today are those that walk around blaming all their failures on it. Look, he messed up. She messed up. We all messed up. Own up to it and move on. I want to end this by asking y'all just one favor. Don't do my little boys a disservice by making them grow up in a world where they're toxic just because they're male. That's not an environment to grow up in at all. The world needs real men right now more than ever to come through. I hope we start embracing it. Something to think about. God bless y'all.